well beaten 3-0 and outclassed them, Liam. Is that fair enough?
Yes, yeah, okay. Without any doubt. The Barcelona team reminded me of Barcelona that played for Guardiola. The players were pressing, they were brilliant in possession. You never knew what the front three were going to do. They were so inventive, so creative, and they've got the maestro and Messi. You know, he still looks like the player he was 10 years ago. It was a fantastic performance. United, back to the drawing board. They have to sort the defence out. Simply not good enough. And the defence gives you a platform to get other departments in your team right. Midfield was very, very poor as well. They hardly, well, I think doubled the possession. Barcelona doubled the possession. United players couldn't keep hold of the ball. Pogba was very, very disappointing. And you have to say the forwards didn't get the service, although in the first 5 minutes they could have surprised Barcelona, and they probably needed to take one of those chances, which they didn't. But Barcelona, far superior.
So, Didi, about Barcelona's superiority aside, does what we've witnessed just highlight how big a job Solskjaer has to do with this team to make them competitive in this competition again, and also how much money they're going to need to spend?
Yeah, huge. You wouldn't know where to start. Since Ferguson left, I think the net spend in the 5 years was about 450, so they would have spent 600 or 700 million quid. No disrespect to Ashley Young, he's been a very good competitor for the club. But if you spend all that money and you've got Ashley Young in a Champions League quarter-final as your captain and as your left-back, then you know there's something wrong. And I know if Shaw was fit, he would have played Shaw, and Young will probably played on the right-hand side. You wouldn't know where to start, because they've got all these defenders in Bailly, Lindelof. Nobody really does a job. So I'd say you need at least 2 centre-backs. Central midfield, Fred, no. Pogba, no. Who else we got? Matic. McTominay is one you've got to keep, but you've got to, he's having a good spell now.
You're going to build a team around him.
Well, I'm not sure, because we don't know how good he is. At the moment he's doing okay, but he's doing well in a bad team. And then going forward, I think they're all talented lads. We touched on Rashford before. I think Martial is a talented player, but he doesn't show it. So there's so many areas in that team or in that squad which have to be addressed. It'll cost them a fortune. And I think Scholes came out this week. He said he doesn't think they will win the league next year in the next few years. I think over the next 3 to 5 years, I think it'll be very tough for them to be competitive with Liverpool and Manchester City.
And I know, look, it's easy to be wise after the fact, Kevin, but, giving Solskjaer the job when they did, since they've given him the job, the results have been pretty poor.
Yeah, listen, it's hard to blame him when you're looking at the squad he's been left with. They probably should have done what they planned all along. Everyone got carried away with the PSG result, but they said we're going to keep him till the summer and see from there. They've probably rushed into a little bit on the excitement of beating that PSG team that night and giving them the job, but he did get a turnaround. He did get them playing well. But listen, when you go through, and we've just spoken, went through all the players, he can't perform miracles. They're not as strong a squad as the top 4 or 5 teams in England. He has a lot of work to cut out, a lot of work to do this summer. Where do you start? Start the back, start in midfield, start up front.
The manager is essentially a coach. It's the infrastructure of the football club that has to go into gear now.
Well, they've no director of football.
Well, they've no director of football, but they've got Ed Woodward, who's the chief executive, and he's responsible for recruiting the players. And they haven't recruited the right players down through the last few seasons. As Diddy said, they spent something like £700 million, and they're still way off Manchester City and way off Liverpool as things look now. So I feel a bit sorry for Solskjaer. I think he deserved the job in the first place. I think any manager coming in there won't be able to put that team right. Any top-class coach won't be able to put it right. It's the transfer market that's going to put it right. And that's not down to the manager. The manager is not the one who goes and gets the players. He'll probably say, get me A, B, C, D, and it's up to the club to get them, and they haven't really done that.
Well, supposedly Mourinho did that last season, and it didn't work out. And again, the players that they get rid of, but the players
had his chance
indeed. But for now,
Mourinho spent a lot of money on players, and we've seen quite a few of them playing there now.
But for now, Usher 50, 60 million. But Lindelof hasn't been bad in the last few weeks, in fairness to him. But like the players now that they have to get rid of, they've got to get rid of a lot of players now.
Yeah,
like
and
this is
that's a job in itself.
That's
as
the
well.
first thing.
Yeah.
What about well?